The purpose of this video is to show how to change your CodePlug frequency range A or frequency range B setting without destroying the data in your CodePlug. This has to do with the CPS 2017 or the editor for the MD 2017 TYT radio. Ordinarily, when you load in your CodePlug and you have your data all set up, if for any reason you want to change one of these frequency ranges, when you do that, it's going to tell you it's going to delete all the data. So right now my CodePlug has the original frequency range for VHF here, and I want to change that to UHF for the frequency range B. Well, since you can't do that with the CodePlug, you can do that if you change the difference in the files. And the way to find out what the difference in the two files are for these settings is you start off with a new blank CodePlug, and the first time you save it, you're going to save it with the same frequency ranges of the CodePlug that you had loaded or that you want to change. So in this case, these are the same frequency ranges that were set in the CodePlug data for this file. Once you have that, you choose File, Save As, and in this case I've already saved the file as blank-chb2 VHF because it's got the wrong VHF frequency there. And then once you save that file, then change the frequencies how you want them to be. You can change the top and the bottom or either one. Once you do that, then File, Save As. And I've already saved this one as blank-chb2 UHF because I've changed that with the UHF. You can name it anything you want to help you remember which one's the old one and which one's the new one that you want to be. Once you have those two files saved, then you want to use a hex editor. Well, before you use the hex editor though, you have to find what the differences are. So you go to that directory by backing up or going up one directory, and on that directory hold down the shift key before you right click. Once you do that, you'll have an option here that's either going to be open command window here or open PowerShell window here. In my case it's open PowerShell window. If you open a PowerShell window, which I've already opened, and you have the PowerShell prompt, to get to a command prompt, just type CMD, hit enter. Now you have a command prompt, and you're in the directory that have the files that you want to work with. So in order to find out what the difference between these two files are, I'm going to use the file compare command and a /B switch for a binary comparison. And the first file I want to put is the old file that has the wrong data in it. And then the new file that has the correct data. Then you hit enter. Now it's going to show you all the differences between those two files. So since all I've changed was that one setting, we can determine that these are the numbers that have to do with the differences between what the first file holds and what the second file holds. So the first file has the wrong numbers, the second file has the correct numbers. From experimenting, I found out that these last two numbers have to do with the time and date. So those aren't needed, it's these five. If you were to change both of these settings, I haven't done that, but I suppose what you would do is you would get two lists of 5 numbers to change. So you'd have 10 numbers here before these at the bottom. In this case, we just need to change these 5. So now what I want to do is load my CodePlug into a hex editor. And what I'm going to use is Notepad++. It's got a plug-in for a hex editor that I've already loaded. So I'm going to open up CodePlug. Oops. Here's the CodePlug I want to change. So in Notepad++, you notice it's not in hex because we have to get to the plugin. I've already loaded this plugin, so when I click on View in Hex, it should show it. For some reason, sometimes I have to do it twice. So now it shows the hex values for that file. In order to get that plugin, you go to Plugin Manager, Show Plugin Manager, and then it'll show you all the plugins. And scroll down to Hex Editor. And since I've already loaded it, it's not showing. Once you choose Hex Editor and choose Install, I got several messages over and over and over about updating the plugin manager. After a couple of times of doing that, I got tired of doing that and just chose Install the Hex Editor. So the Hex Editor installed. Now we go and look at the first difference here. The first difference at sequence 137 byte number in the file. Look here, and that's where the address is, the address. And so we have address 130 is right here. So 137 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this address right here has got a 0 in it, and the blank file that we saved with the improper or the not wanted frequency for the B frequency B. So it's got a 0 there. We want to put a 0 too, which matches up the second file that we saved that has the correct frequency. Then at address 13 delta should have a 60. We want to put 0. So if this is 137, 38, 39, 40, 39, 3A, 3B, 3C, 3 delta. It has 60 in there. We want to put zeros. Make sure you hit 0 and not the letter O. If you hit the letter O or anything and your display goes kind of crazy, just hit Control-Z, which will be undo, and it should put it back the way it was. So I had a 60 there. We put a 0. The next byte, which is after 3D, is 3 echo. Should have a 13. Want to put 40. Next one should have 40. We want to put 0. Then at location 140 has 17. We want to put 48. Okay, once I make those changes, now I save that file. Now let's see when we load that CodePlug. And it looks like TeamViewer's busy doing something. Okay, here we go. Now I load that CodePlug. All my data is still there. And I have the right frequencies. So K7CET 73.